In recent days, you have come across headlines like this, whereby there's a revision of the registers of election to be done by 31st July 2024. So, what the heck is that, and is the election coming? And why is voting compulsory leh? So, basically before any election, we need to know who can vote ma. Think of it as a large Excel file of everyone who can vote. It must be updated before an election, cause Gong Bilang might just turn 21, so she can vote this year, but in the previous list her name isn't there. What happened is that they are now revising it now, and by 31st July 2024, you'll be fully up to date again. Now, note that it can be revised periodically as a routine update, but on a hot election period like this, history shows that a few months after it's revised, then there will be an election one. Back in 2011, it was revised by February, and election took place in May. Back in 2015, it was revised by April, and election took place in September. Back in 2002, it was revised by April, and election took place in July. For the latest presidential election, it was revised by July, and the election took place in September. So based on quick math, if elections isn't conducted this year, I will live stream myself eating 6 live cockroaches and drink my office toilet bowl water. Now, here's the thing, voting is compulsory in Singapore. If you have not voted in the last election without a valid reason, then you will need to pay $50 to kind of put your name back to the big Excel file. If not, you cannot vote and also cannot run for election. Now, remember that penalty cause that will be important later. So here's the thing, voting is compulsory in Singapore, and surprisingly, not many countries in the world make voting compulsory one. According to the CIA World Factbook, only 21 countries currently make voting compulsory. Even our closest neighbor, Malaysia, doesn't make voting compulsory. Instead, we join countries like Brazil, Thailand, and most importantly, Australia that make voting compulsory. I'll explain why Australia is important later. Now, the question is, why? For a start, making voting compulsory do indeed increase voter turnout, even if the penalty is a step in the risk. Australia reported that before 1924, when federal voting wasn't compulsory, voting turnout can be as low as 47%. With compulsory voting, the lowest is 91%. Conversely, when has compulsory voting, voting turnout was 82%, but when it became non-compulsory, it dropped to 61%. Over in Singapore, the reason given to make voting compulsory is that it is as much a fundamental right of citizenship as it is a civil responsibility to be exercised by citizens to choose and elect their leaders in the Compulsory. I know you catch no balls, but basically it's a basic right and duty as a citizen to do it. Which brings us to this burning question. But why is it a duty? Would more people voting help? Here's a short answer. Yes, it helps. I'm going to use the example of Star Wars, and let's say for some reason I'm nominated as the most popular YouTuber together with Sang, Gong Bilang, and Tang Ziwei. If we get everyone in Singapore to vote, then it's clear, of course, I will win because I'm the most popular one. If not compulsory, then if Gong Bilang starts to talk more to her subscribers because she got more subscribers, and then even promise to have lots of giveaways if she wins, then she might win. That is not a reflection of the whole Singapore and not a reflection of who's most popular. This sounds funny, but it's true. People like Gong Bilang can create a cult following, and then you know what a cult can do. The followers, despite low in number, are super active and will all vote one. And they might be the majority of voters despite a small turnout number. So agak higher voter turnout is often better. However, the best thing is that making voting compulsory with very small penalty can easily increase voter turnout one. Like in Singapore, we always have over 90% of voter turnout even when the penalty is not that serious. In fact, people are willing to be stuck on the jam to GB just to vote first one. There are still many other reasons, and I'm just simplifying and summarizing everything, so please read up more for the full arguments. So, if compulsory voting is so good, then why not have it everywhere? The key argument is that it's kind of forcing people to do things which people don't like. Moreover, to the lower income, voting takes time, and that is time they cannot afford to waste. Now, why do I say that Australia is important? Many of this research are done in Australia, since many countries don't have compulsory voting. In fact, if you want to read up books about compulsory voting, it's likely written in Australia. There are actually many other interesting things I uncovered during the research of this video. So if you want to know more, just type I vote for Blue Cat for Star Wars 2027 and then I'll do a follow-up if there are over 88 comments. You should also watch this video to know more about the last election. And also thank you for spending 4 minutes with me, you bodo. I really appreciate it.